thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle.
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on and join us.
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, in our perennial battle between good and evil, it seemed that last time evil in the form of Boris Badenov would score an upset victory. For Boris, disguised as Rocky himself, was determined to steal the nation's entire supply of Upsidaisium, the anti-gravity metal.
Boris, darling, the whole thing?
Of course, Natasha. Remember our motto, if it's worth stealing at all, steal it all.
And with the help of the magnets fastened to his shoes, Boris proceeded to do just that. He carried bar after bar of Upsidaisium to a rear window and loaded them into a fleet of trucks waiting outside.
But how do we keep people from getting curious about trucks?
Look at Neyman trucks.
Clover Blossom Skunk Farms.
See? Nobody will come within miles of us.
Oh, that's very good, Badenov. Very good indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Big.
Yes, I'm glad I thought of it.
Quick, darling, someone's coming.
Sure enough, at that moment, Rocky and Bullwinkle were dashing toward the storeroom, followed by General Broadbean himself.
What we do, darling?
Truck is just outside. Quick, jump in.
And the two spies leaped through the open window.
Well, darling, here am I, and there are you, but where is truck?
They're not here.
I know where they're not, darling. Tell me where there are.
Yes, Boris, tell us both.
Mr. Big, beloved superior.
Did you fall too, darling?
Look at this lump on my head.
On you, it looks good.
What was that?
Yeah, of course, Mr. Big. On you, anything looks good.
Meanwhile, back in the storeroom...
Rocky, look at all that Upsidaisium. It's gone.
And whoever took it didn't leave a clue.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, General. Looky there.
Sure enough, over by the window where Boris had dropped it in his haste was a crumpled flying helmet.
Have either of you seen this before?
I don't know. Could I take it out in the light?
You don't have to, Bullwinkle. It's mine.
And just how do you explain that hat being found at the scene of the crime?
Well, I just looked up and there it was.
Not you, you. Are you being smart, Moose?
I don't know. There's a first time for everything.
Guards! All right, Squirrel. For somebody so short, you'll have some tall explaining to do.
Boris, they think that poor little squirrel did it.
Yes.
They'll send him to jail.
Yes.
Maybe for life.
Or longer.
And the really funny thing is...
Yes?
You stole it yourself. Where is it, Boris?
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Big. Cross my heart. Double cross my heart.
But Boris wasn't the only one answering questions. A short distance away, Rocky was undergoing a severe grilling.
Somebody took my helmet out of my room.
And I say you stole the Upsidaisium.
And he ought to know, Rock, he was with you the whole time.
That's right, he was.
I was?
I haven't left your sight since I got here.
So if Rocky did it, you must have did it too.
Well, that puts a different light on it.
You mean you're letting me go?
No, I'm putting myself under arrest. Come along, me.
Hey, wait, General.
What for? Somebody stole it.
He's right, Rock. That stuff wouldn't just disappear into thin air.
Hey, that's it, Bullwinkle.
Sure, I knew it was. What?
It disappeared into thin air. Look there.
Sure enough, there, 100 feet above Fort Knick-Knack and drifting higher and higher with each passing moment, were 10 trucks loaded with a precious cargo of Upsidaisium.
We gotta do something, Rock.
Yeah, but what?
Well, couldn't we at least wave bye-bye?
Well, so the world's supply of Upsidaisium is on the way to outer space. Don't miss our next episode, Truck Drivers in the Sky, or Follow the Fleet.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But that trick never worked.
This time for sure. Presto! Well, I'm getting close.
And now it's time for another special feature.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful, beautiful queen.
Flatterer.
She was lovely, but the wickedest woman in the world, a fiend in human form.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Each morning, she would go to her mirror for advice. It was a very special mirror. It gave not only advice, but also music, news, the weather, and stock reports.
Amalgamated dragon, off an eighth. Fairy godmother common, up a quarter.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
The fairest of them all is Snow White.
Snow White. Oh, that is disappointing. Now I'll have to do away with her.
And the queen went to the office of the Witch Pack Company, of which she was the owner.
Let's see now. Which pack poison prunes? Which pack poison strawberries? Which pack sleeping death apples? That's it! I'll give her the $4.95 apple assortment.
But at that very moment, Snow White was hard at work in her office.
Consolidated Dwarf, Snow White speaking. Right. 27 Dwarfs, North Pole. Right away. Thank you, Mr. Claus. All right, you. Let's try it again. Way down upon the Swanee River.
I just can't do it, boss. I'm not a child star. I'm a dwarf.
Yeah, but child stars make a fortune.
Look, I'm 47 years old. I got a wife and 3 kids in Kansas City.
With those curls, who's gonna know? Get to the studio right away.
Okay, boss.
And don't forget to shave. Come in. Seems I can hardly keep the little beggars in stock these days.
Are you Snow White?
Right? How many do you want?
How many what?
Dwarfs, of course. Let's see. 27 to the North Pole, at least 7. 7 dwarfs is all I have left.
I don't want any dwarfs.
Well, we discontinued our giant line, you know. Too much overhead.
No. I just brought you a little gift from the Witch Pack Company.
Apples. My, they are tasty.
Yes, eat one and you'll just die for more.
Well, if you ship prepaid, I'll take...
Now we'll see who's fairest of them all.
And the queen dashed off, leaving Snow White in a state of sleeping death.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
Don't you want the word on local news?
No.
How about the weather, your favorite waltz?
Come on now, who's the fairest?
Like I told you, Snow White.
What?
But you're the prettiest.
But you just said...
I said Snow White was the fairest. She never lies, cheats, or steals. Now, what could be fairer than that?
Oh, my. I've made a terrible mistake.
And now the latest in stock market quotations. Minnesota mowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Robridge Company up.
Uh-huh.
Consolidated Dwarf.
Yes.
Down 500 points.
500 points. Then I'm wiped out. I'm destroyed.
Yes. By putting Snow White to sleep, the wicked queen had ruined a company in which she was the major stockholder.
All because I used witchcraft. Well, I'll never use it again. Never, never, never!
And with that, the queen got rid of her entire stock.
Now to wake up Snow White and get Consolidated Dwarf back on its feet. Let's see. Powdered bat toenails. 2 cups spider venom. No more witchcraft. For those who have sworn off witchcraft, get 1 prince to kiss the victim. A prince! That's it!
In a few moments, the queen was in the prince's chambers.
Kiss a victim of sleeping death. Well, let's see what the rate is.
Rate?
Oh, yes. You see, we charming princes have to make a living, you know. Let's see. That'll be 2 million gold grickles.
Too much.
I can hold her hand for 1 million.
No, you have to kiss her.
Then it's 2 million. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it.
Wait, I'll get my bag. These house calls are such a nuisance.
In a little while, the prince was at Snow White's door.
Where's the lady of the house, my little man?
Over there.
I won't be a minute.
What kept you? I've been lying here for hours.
Cool it. She fell for it. We're rich.
Oh, where am I?
Hooray! Now my stock will go up. Thanks ever so, Your Highness.
It was nothing.
Nothing.
Well, ta-ta! I've got to go hear the ball game on my mirror.
Well, here comes the happy ending. The queen was a better woman for having given up witchcraft, Consolidated Dwarf was back in business, and the prince and Snow White were rich.
Let's see the money, honey.
Oh, well, there isn't any. I used it to make a sensational deal.
Like what?
I bought 5,000 shares of a new company called Witch Pack. Here, have some apricots. I just ate all the apples.
Look, Bullwinkle, a message in a bottle.
Fan mail from some flounder?
No, this is what I really call a message. Time for Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hi, culture lovers. Today's poem is a stirring saga of forest conservation. Woodman, spare that tree. Woodman, spare that tree. Touch not a single bough.
Hello, kiddo.
In youth it sheltered me, and I'll protect it. Hey, what you doing with that axe?
What else? I'm shaving.
Oh, that old familiar tree that...
Timber!
Now hold on. That old familiar tree, whose glory and renown are spread o'er land and sea. And wouldst thou hew it down?
You said it, Buster.
Old tree, the storm still brave, and woodman, leave the spot. While I've a hand to save, thy axe shall hurt it not. Well, that's gratitude for you.
And now it's time...
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2...
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
Hello again. Peabody, Sherman, and Wayback here. Today we shall be on hand for that historic moment when man first swam the English Channel. Sherman,
Yes, Mr. Peabody.
set the way back for the coast of England.
And the date?
August 24th, 1875. A fateful day in the life of Captain Matthew Clift. It took but a fraction of a second for the Wayback Machine to transport us to our destination, and there, on a strip of sandy beach, stood the athletic-looking Captain Clift.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks ever so much for coming down to see me off.
And with that, he dived into the sea. But not for long. Rising to his feet, the good captain threw a game smile at his well-wishers and endeavored to try again. But with the same results.
Gad, that's the most obstinate water I've ever run into. Or out of.
What seems to be the trouble, Captain?
I don't know. I dive in, but I never stay there.
It was then I noticed his body was generously coated with grease.
I wear the grease to keep out the chill of the sea.
Yes, but you have so much on that you keep slipping out of the water. We scraped the excess grease off, and this time the captain's attempt was successful. Or at least it seemed to be.
Help!
He's in trouble, Mr. Peabody.
I thought he would be. In a flash, we launched a small dinghy and were soon at the captain's side.
What's wrong, Captain?
I'm afraid I can't make it.
Why not?
Well, there are 3 reasons. 1, the channel is 19 miles wide, a rather large distance. And 2, the water is frightfully cold.
What's the third reason?
I can't swim.
We hauled the struggling athlete aboard and bundled him in a warm blanket.
I know what you're thinking. I was a fool to even attempt it.
Why did you?
Well, the plumbing's gone bad at home. I haven't had a bath in a week.
Would you try it again if you could swim?
Why, yes, I suppose so.
Swell. Then Mr. Peabody will teach you.
We started out with the dog paddle, naturally, and after that the Australian crawl. By 3 that afternoon, Captain Clift was thoroughly amphibious.
How do you feel, Captain?
Well, outside of a little water on the knee, I feel absolutely wizard.
And so saying, Captain Matthew Clift struck out for the coast of France, 19 miles away. I thought it best that Sherman and I accompany him, and a good thing we did, too, for when he was halfway across, the fog closed in.
These are terrible conditions for the captain.
Oh, I don't know. Being English, I rather imagine he feels quite at home in the fog.
Listen, Mr. Peabody, waves crashing on the beach. He did it. He's made it to shore.
Captain Clift had made it ashore, all right. Unfortunately, when the fog dissipated the next morning, it wasn't the French shore, but the English.
Good heavens! Do you mean to say we're back where we started from?
I'm afraid so. You see, you must have got turned round in the fog, and we merely followed your course.
I see. Well, cheerio, chaps. I'm off to bed.
Wait, Captain, you can't give up now.
Why not? This seems like a glorious time to give up.
Sherman is right, you know. How would it look for a Britisher to not conquer the English Channel?
I don't care how it looks. I'm going home and brew some tea.
The word tea gave me a sudden idea. Quick, Sherman, fetch a tea bag and a fishing pole while I detain the captain. Like a shot, Sherman was off, and shortly thereafter returned with what I had requested.
Are you going to try to catch fish, Mr. Peabody?
No, not fish, Sherman. An Englishman. I dangled the tea bag in front of the good captain, and true to his upbringing, the tantalizing aspect of tea drove him wild.
By Jove, I must have that.
Then swim for it. With Sherman at the oars, we led the captain a merry chase, a chase that spanned 19 miles. Yes, at dawn the following day, Captain Matthew Clift staggered out of the sea onto the French shore, in his hands a rather soggy tea bag.
A pot! My kingdom for a pot!
What a tremendous feat, Mr. Peabody. He swam the English Channel.
Yes, he did, Sherman.
But he sure looks awful. Think he'll be all right?
Oh, I'm sure of it. It's merely a slight case of exhaustion.
But look how white he is.
Well, it's fortunate that he is. Otherwise, England might be minus one of her famous landmarks.
Captain Clift, a landmark?
Why, of course, Sherman. He comes from Dover, you know, and surely you've heard of the White Cliffs of Dover? Hmm?
Last time, you remember, Boris had stolen the world's supply of Upsidaisium and loaded it into a fleet of trucks. But he forgot that Upsidaisium falls up, and the whole fleet was soon floating skywards.
You didn't tell me they were going by air, Boris.
I didn't know myself.
You mean you can't get them back?
Of course, Mr. Big. Just takes a little while, is all.
How long?
How about 20 years?
You won't be around that long, Boris.
Oh, boy.
But our heroes have also spotted the floating trucks.
Look, General Broadbeam, there goes the Upsidaisium now.
Then all is lost. We're outflanked. We'll never get it back.
Don't despair, General. We'll think of something.
We generally do. You get it, Rock? I said...
There's only one thing to do, Bullwinkle.
Yeah, you see, he's a
I'm
general...
going to try to round up those trucks.
Boy, try to make a joke around here. Round them up?
But you can't. They'll be out of sight in a few minutes.
Then we got to hurry. Come on.
Where are we headed for?
The Fort Knick-Knack Missile Base.
And in a few minutes, Rocky was explaining his idea to the chief engineer of the missile division.
So you see, if one of your missiles can boost me up in the air, maybe I can get the Upsidaisium back.
Impossible. Orders state we can carry nose cones only.
Then I guess my idea's a washout.
Yeah, unless you happen to be a nose cone.
Bullwinkle, that's it. Come on.
Where are we dashing to?
To General Broadbeam's office.
A few moments later, our heroes again stood before the missile chief. I already told you, no squirrels on missiles.
Yeah, but I'm not a squirrel. Look at my orders.
The general's appointed you a nose cone, first class. Okay, man, take it away. And Rocky was hoisted 9 stories into the air to the top of a huge missile. Now clear the range. Prepare to fire. Mr. Moose, will you give the countdown?
10, 9, 8,
Try 7.
Oh, yeah. 7, 6,
Hurry, Bullwinkle!
Rocky, it's hard enough for me to count frontwards.
Yeah, but the trucks are flying away.
Then I'll do it my way. Ready or not, here you go.
And the huge missile began to rise slowly, then faster and still faster, while Rocky clung to the very top of it. On the ground, huge U.S. radar screens tracked the flight of the missile, but they weren't the only ones, for at a secret base in another country...
Well, they're sending up great big missile, Theodore.
Don't matter, Nicky. Ours are bigger.
They got new shape nose cone.
Ours got better shape.
Nose cone is shaped like squirrel.
Like squirrel? Well, back to the old drawing board.
Meanwhile, back at the fort, some stunning news came from the tower.
General Broadbeam, the missile is not responding to our signals.
Impossible!
See for yourself.
Sure enough, the sensitive instruments showed that Rocky's missile was swinging more and more out of line.
It's off course.
Where's it headed?
According to this chart, it's headed right for Washington.
Then we must destroy it.
Destroy it.
But my buddy's on that thing.
Don't you understand? He's headed straight for the White House.
You really think he can carry the farm vote?
So we have to push this button.
But as the general's finger neared the destroy button, voices were raised in protest.
No!
You mustn't.
Please.
Stop. Go ahead and push.
Boris Badenov. So that's who has fouled up the missile mission.
Who else?
Be sure to be with us next time for The Squirrel Next Door or Hi Neighbor.
Looks as if our time has just about run out.
Just enough left to tell him who the sponsor was.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop. Right.
Bye now. See you next time.